Nothing helped him. Mike Gusti now on his spare. And look out. He's got 9 more.
And a good chance for another spare, although the wood's way out in front.
Mike's taking a look at it.
He throws so hard, too. The ball is going to fly. Now, whether the pin does the same thing.
Straight back for him. And that will win the skin unless Dave can show us a shot here. Nope, he turned away. He knew he had missed it. So that's a $70 skin from Mike Gusti. Oh, and Dave Purcell misfires again. He'll take just 7. So Dave Purcell at 55. Mike Gusti in the lead with a spare up. Bruno Defeo just behind at 65, and Steve Plant at 50 through 5. We'll check that shot that we were talking about during the break and come back with more of Game 1 on Candlepin Skins.
Candlepin Skins is brought to you in part by Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan.
Well, we checked this shot back in the 4th frame from Bruno Defeo, and it was very close, but watch the ball as it goes down the lane. It will just begin to clip the 10 pin right there before it hits the piece of wood in the channel. So just by the narrowest of we had to look at that. You saw it in live action, which is very impressive.
I know.
But we had to look at that one 3 or 4 times before we could make a decision.
Oh, boy.
It was very close.
That's why I'm here. Make one call a year.
And now here's Bruno in the 6th box.
People think I'm overpaid. Now they know.
That was very impressive because normally when you see the, in live action, we could see that the wood in the channel moved.
Definitely
and normally
moved.
That means that the ball hit the wood first.
Well, that dispels that theory because...
especially because it appeared that the wood was far enough in front of the 10 pin that it looked like there was no way he could have hit the pin first. But that was a very, very close call. So everything stays as it was before we went to the break. And this is a $25 skin here in the 6th. A 10 for Bruno Defeo and an 8 for Steve Plant, who has hit a dry spell here all of a sudden. He's opened the last 4 boxes. Candlepin Skins brought to you in part by Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan. Come to Salem and save. Rockingham Toyota Dodge Nissan in Salem, New Hampshire. Well, that'll be a fun shot for Dave Purcell.
Well, the way the wood's situated,
oh, look out!
It's not going to make any difference for the skin, but for the total pinfall score, he's got a chance to make this spare. Well, he's missed the 2 pin.
Mike Gusti wins the skin with the strike. And that's 4 marks in a row for Mike.
He did this last week in the 2nd game.
Right.
He was trailing and he strike, spare, I believe.
Dale Angelotti had to do a little house cleaning down on the pin deck. Dale handling the lob line in the pin deck for us today. A 9 for Dave Purcell, and here's the big strike for Mike Gusti. Just had the weight on the 5 pin. Steve Plant, dead on the head pin.
Well, if the wood stays there, he's got a chance.
Bruno Defeo, also dead on the head pin. 2 different splits here, both difficult, but both with a shot.
Favorable wood on both shots.
Yep.
Oh, boy. I thought he had a real shot at making the 4-7 as well. Bruno's going to shoot a 3-6-10 with the 4 pin, but a piece of wood next to that 3. And he, too, leaves 1 standing.
The wood didn't go where we expected.
No, not at all.
10 for Steve. And for Bruno.
So a pair of 10s up for the skin.
It's worth $30 here in the 7th. Don't forget, Candlepin Stars and Strikes tomorrow at noon from Park Place Lanes here on the Winds of New England. as we wind ever closer toward the Tournament of Champions. Well, Dave Purcell just turned away from that shot. It didn't turn out too bad. Both difficult shots here, though, for spare attempts. And Mike misfired on his.
And just 5 on that strike.
And we're going to have a carryover. 8 in the box for Mike. And a 10 for Dave Purcell, but we already had a carryover with 10s. So the 8th box will be worth $60 now. Bruno Defeo from East Boston. Brooklyn hit, and a good one. It'll be a 9-drop. Steve Plant slipped a little bit at the line, but he will also have a 9-drop.
The more difficult 10-pin, where Bruno has the 3. It's a little difficult too at times.
And Steve makes his for the spare, a much needed spare after 5 open frames. Bruno has now been open 4 in a row. He's at 95 through 8. So the spare for Steve Plant leads for the skin. Right now the pinfall leader is Mike Gusti. Dave Purcell looking to try and recapture some of the magic from a week ago. He has only 1 mark to this point.
And no skins. Last week it was, first game it was Rich Lottie and Dave winning all the skins. And of course Dave went on to win several in that second game as well. And whoa.
Oh boy. And no spares there, so that's going to be a skin for $60 for Steve Plant. He's up to $100 now. A 9 for Dave and a 10 for Mike Gusti. Mike continues in the lead at 111. Bruno Defeo second at 95. $30 skin here in the 9th. And Steve Plant working on a spare.
Right.
And he takes 9 more.
Right in the pocket, leaves the 7-pin. Piece of wood rolling out now. It could be out of play. And it is. Got a nice little guide though with that couple pieces of wood there.
2 pieces of wood in play and 2 more in the channel that you can't see.
I might want to play the wood to the right just for that reason. I don't want to clip that wood in the channel, the 2 pieces. That's what he's trying. He might be a little high. Oh boy. Doesn't look any different now once it's up on a scoreboard. Bruno trying to split the 2 and the 4 to grab the 10. So again, Steve will lead for the skin in the 9th with a spare.
And a 9 for Bruno. And here's the deflection now by Steve Plant off the wood. Steve gets very low. Played that one right off the cap. Mike Gusti has the half Worcester. And Dave Purcell has one on the other side. Mike having a little chuckle about the whole thing. Oh, playing it on the inside. Didn't quite get enough of the head pin. Likely that Steve Plant is going to win himself another skin here, and he will. $30 more. That's an 8 for Michael.
gives him 119 through 9 frames, and just a 6 for Dave Purcell gives him 89 through 9.
Dave Purcell in 4th place at the moment after that 6 box.
And Steve has a chance with a decent fill to climb into 2nd spot, passing Bruno.
We move to the 10th, which is worth $75, and Bruno Defeo has a half Worcester.
That's catching.
We'll have a clean sweep if Steve throws one. We've had 3 in a row.
Steve's working on a spare. He doesn't want a half Worcester, and he almost had one.
Well, he got an extra pin. Kicked out the 7 as well, so it's 4 on the spare.